Hi everyone, welcome to Crickcentric View. After a game of DC versus SRH, which has been a batting paradise, and we have Sharvanan with us, so we will talk about how we felt about the game, and it has been really long time connecting with you guys. So welcome, Sharvanan.
Yeah, hi Praneeth. It's been a while since we connected.
Right.
Yeah, the first half of the IPL is gone now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, before getting into today's game, what's your view? The first half has been done. So, still, do you think what are the teams that could make into the playoffs?
So based on the first half, like there have been a lot of surprises with youngsters, right? Uh, like there were a lot of surprises. For example, Yashasvi Jaiswal, we thought he would be an orange cap holder. Somehow he hasn't turned up. And they have a surprises in terms of Sashant Singh, which Punjab never wanted. And somehow he is the one who is bailing the Punjab team and bringing them close, right? Instead of embarrassing defeats, you are seeing those close matches with Punjab, and same
Yes.
with Ashutosh Sharma. So for me, uh, here's the thing: games in West Indies and US, it would happen in the morning, right? Because the prime audience in India would rather watch a match in the evening time. So you have to conduct a match in the morning in the US or West Indies.
Yes.
So the wickets are not going to be how the wickets are. It won't be a 260, 270 wicket. I'm thinking it would be like 180, like the scores would be somewhere around 160 to 180. That's
Yes.
my prediction. Like average scores would be somewhere around that. So for that, my openers would be Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, and then number three would be Sky. Four is Rishabh Pant. Five, Hardik Pandya. Six, either of Shivam Dube or Rinku Singh. And in bowlers, of course, Jadeja, Kuldeep Yadav, two spinners. Then in pacers, Jasprit Bumrah, Mukesh Kumar, and not Mukesh Kumar, actually Khalil Ahmed.
Okay.
Khalil Ahmed. So, and 11th, that spot is open. Like Siraj is not doing well right now. So that
Yeah.
spot is very well open,
Okay.
right? Along with Jasprit Bumrah, there would be two pacers. One is, for me, Khalil Ahmed could be that one pacer, and other pacer could be, I don't know who it would be.
Okay.
Up you.
So, yeah, the top four playoff spots for IPL based upon the still you're going with the old prediction, or do you want to change
No, no,
anything?
it has changed. Like, see, SRH and KKR, they have surprised us. We were saying,
Yes.
right, SRH, they shouldn't even bother playing, and these guys are like, okay, hold my beer.
They're not holding, they're just stuffing it up very hard.
Yeah. So this year playoffs, I think it would be SRH and KKR are sure shot. Number three would be CSK, and four, I think it could be either uh, LSG. LSG, I think these four could be the playoffs.
RR is already on 12 points. Don't you think they
Oh,
already have
sorry.
one leg on their? Yeah,
Yeah,
they already
I forgot
they
about
already
that.
in the
Like
playoffs.
RR and SRH are sure shot, and third would be Kolkata. Fourth would be CSK.
Okay, no MI.
I don't know. The way things are going,
Mm,
it is going haywire, and everything is like,
yes.
even in that match where they conceded 270 runs, Bumrah was the star bowler, and even against RCB where they conceded 195, 197 runs, something like that.
196.
Yeah, Bumrah gave 21 runs. So other bowlers are not turning up. So the story of Mumbai is, except for Bumrah, no one is turning up in the bowling. In RCB, except for Virat Kohli, no one is turning up. So that's what it is.
If I want to say one thing about Mumbai Indians, if there was no Bumrah, it's another RCB branch number two. That's how
True,
things
true,
are.
yeah.
Things are in the season. We thought that we got the players that we needed, but I don't know what's happening. Really, the things are not coming together. I think
I
the big
mean,
let off was Madhual. Uh,
Yeah,
Last time he was a
yeah.
lone performer for us, but this time he's completely messing it up. And yeah, he seems like to be a one season wonder.
See, more than that, like last year, uh, with Emma, it feels like too many cooks spoiled the broth. Like in the previous match with Punjab, when Madhwal was bowling that final over, right? There was Rohit Sharma, Hardik Pandya, Bumrah, and Tim David. All four guys are giving their opinions. Like you should do this, you should do that. And Madhwal is not an international player. He's basically a tape ball player, right? And
That's
that's the
okay.
last place. That's the last place players like Madhwal would like to be, right? And that's what I feel more than his skills. I feel MI's uh, MI's management or captaincy that is bit muddled.
Yeah, that's true. But still, the way Madhwal performed before this game, also the last game, also he was not that Madhwal you have been seen in the last season. He
True.
is really. He doesn't seem to have any plans. Not even a plan A or plan B. Doesn't seem to have any plans. All he is just running in and bowling like a bowling machine without any proper idea. Or he's just pre-programmed one and
True.
he's just bowling those slot balls all together. And it was too easy to Ashutosh last game. He
Last
was
year.
almost finished the game for Punjab from nowhere.
I mean,
From the top, if it could have been a brilliant win for Punjab, but
mhm. It's
yeah,
just the
that's how.
experience. Experience kind of costed them because see, Ashutosh Sharma and Shashank Singh are not experienced campaigners, so they kind of panicked during the finishing stage. But the shot which he played to Bumrah, that slog sweep to Bumrah, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, how are you
Also,
playing that to a premium bowler?
yeah, also the way he enjoyed after that shot was say
Yeah,
something. Like he was like, yeah, I hit Jasprit Bumrah that no one could ever do that.
yeah,
Even
like,
Livingston. The ball which
mm,
Russo got out was the ball of the tournament for me. That's the first ball Russo is facing in this year's IPL, and the first ball is facing a Yorker from Bumrah.
but
So I
yeah,
think that's something that
see,
he
for
wants to fix.
me, more than Bumrah's brilliance, even Riley Russo was not even close to the pitch of the ball. Like I don't know what he was. I think he was expecting a bouncer and got a Yorker. And for a player like that caliber, uh, you shouldn't be like that. Like you're not able to
But we
pick.
can't fall too much, I think, Riley Russo,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that's the first ball. Like who could have imagined? Even even everyone got surprised with the delivery from Bumrah,
right,
and
right,
even
yeah,
the decision that Hardik took to start the innings with Bumrah was something because he was not
right.
doing it, but he finally did that, and eventually it worked out. Yeah,
Yeah, and somehow Hardik Pandya, I think the external pressure is getting to him, and the way he's batting, it feels like he's trying too hard to prove everyone wrong rather than backing his skills. Like initially, when you see his batting, he's a lean physique, so you can't expect long sixes from him. So he relies more on timing. But this year, he's just uh, trying too hard, and he's not even uh, trying to slog and trying to muscle the ball, and he's not even doing a good batting and bowling. Also, he has the only game he bowled 4 overs was yesterday against Punjab. That's it.
yeah, yeah. I think he bowled really well, except that
Hmm.
even against CSK also he started really well. That final over from Pandya was not the right thing to do
I
because
mean, maybe it was Dhoni's brilliance actually. Like you can't blame
not
Hardik Pandya for that.
every ball was a slot delivery, and
Yeah.
he was just used to that. And yeah, there was nothing in those deliveries. Previously, he bowled 3 overs in that game, and those 3 overs were very good. But
Hmm.
getting into the final over against Dhoni, and yeah, that really doesn't add up. Yeah, we'll be coming to today's game.
Today's game.
Did you really think this SRH really wants to scare the opponents or win the opponents? What do you think?
I mean, they are scaring it off, and more than that, I was see Delhi. They know it's a flat wicket. Even in the pitch report, it said that when it is a flat wicket, and in the second innings, it would be easy because of the dew. But in the first innings, SRH scores like 300. There's no chance how much ever dew it is, even though it's flooding, even if
Did
it
you
is flooding
really
with dew.
Did you
DC
really
doesn't
think that?
chance. Yeah,
Did
go
you
on.
really think SRS targeted only 300?
I think they targeted 300. Like the way they started, they targeted 300.
No, no, it seemed like they wanted to play EA cricket in real cricket. They wanted to replicate that thing
See,
because striking 20
300.
runs and over wasn't a joke. That too against the world class bowlers. Nagia was bowling there. Mukesh Kumar, the premium bowler. Kuldeep Yadav was bowled in power play.
Uh-huh.
I really what
And
to say because 125 in power play doesn't make any sense.
it's a joke, yeah. Like honestly, see, uh, in the middle overs, Shahbaz Ahmed and Nitish Reddy played. They are not a hitters, but they still managed to get a run rate of 10. And we are feeling that these guys have lost the momentum which SRH gained.
Yes,
And we are saying that when they have got 10 runs per over in that middle phase, right? So
it was poor.
that's a joke, okay? And
Did you?
just a unpopular opinion, games like this is not going to help the game of cricket here, honestly, right?
Yeah,
That
that we can
interest and
discuss
all
at
those
the end.
things. Yeah.
That we'll discuss at the end because yeah, even when Head and Abhishek Sharma was playing, when they showed the pitch map, only the slot balls were getting punished less because
Not
the strike rate for the slot balls were only 200. That is the eventually the lesser strike rate actually. The short ones are
exactly.
getting hammered for 300. The that length balls will be coming at 350 strike rate. The Yorkers one were getting 250. Like what is this? This is not going to help anyone.
Exactly. See, when someone is going bonkers, you think that okay, bowlers are not bowling in the right areas, but wherever they are bowling, they showed a pitch map, right? Like
Yes.
short pitch ball, they are striking at 350. Then you go at length ball, they are striking at 370, and slot balls, they are striking at 200.
200.
Yeah, and
What the
Yorkers, they are
bowlers can do really.
what the bowlers can't do anything. And if it wasn't for the brilliance of Kuldeep Yadav and Akshar Patel, we would have seen 300, 350 today,
Yes, for sure. Because they were
right?
going at 20 runs and over.
Mhm.
Also, this guy Abhishek Sharma was playing like he really doing like he's playing some EA cricket and he's not having his bat. He's just having joystick and just toying with the bowlers. That's how he was playing. Uh,
So tell me something. Would you be tempted to play Abhishek Sharma in the World Cup?
really, if you ask me, as I won't uh, play Abhishek Sharma.
You won't? Okay. I
But
mean,
I won't play him as an opener, but I could slot him at number four slot because he can give me that part time option. But if I play him at
right.
number four, he might not give me that batting prowess that he is doing for SRH. So the problem with our country right now we are facing is the players who are playing at top were doing really well. Whoever it is, if you see Venkatesh Iyer for a season when he was opening for KKR, he was doing really well and he was straight away slotted into the Indian team. And in Indian team, he was made to play at number five or number four, and he was given the role of finisher, but he was not able to do that. So and he lost his place because of that, and he got some injuries also on the line, and he was nowhere to seen now. So I think I won't play Abhishek Sharma right now because
Mhm.
as per the news that is coming on, that Rohit and Kohli are planning to open in the World Cup. So
Right.
let it be with them for a moment, and yeah,
True,
we'll keep
true.
the Abhishek Sharma in the loop and get him once these big dogs go hangs their boot.
Fair enough, fair enough, yeah. And see, that's what it is. Like somehow the target of 250 has breached 5 times this season,
Yes.
right? And that is really scary. Like, and is it just that something to do with the pitch, or the players have evolved and we are just seeing the scores increasing year on year?
It's a combination of everything actually. The mindset,
Hmm.
the game itself is supporting the batters than the bowlers actually. Given this
Right.
impact player rule, you have the new balls and the games are playing at the evenings. That there is due that is coming in. See, I'm really getting bored of seeing this 200 plus runs games actually. it doesn't give me any joy of watching how a bowler can bowl a good ball, and how a dot ball is going to be enjoyed. It is not happening. Well,
Exactly. See,
a very
like
well bowled one and a very well left delivery was not able to see nowadays. So it's really scary that the upcoming generation would not even practice bowling at all. All they wanted to see, get some bat and hit some two sixes or three sixes in an over.
I mean,
That's all.
exactly that's the point. Like the major concern for India is like if you have seen from the era of Sunil Gavaskars, then Tendulkars, then Kohlis, every now Gill and all those guys, you are seeing every generation is producing that batting phenoms, batter phenoms, whoever it is. But bowlers are very less. If you say
Yes.
fast bowlers, you can think of Kapil Dev, Javagal Srinath, then later Zahir Khan, and now after a long time you've gotten Bumrah. Like there's few bowlers over there, right?
Also, if you mention Gavaskar, Tendulkar, Kohli, now Gill, Jaiswal, or anyone, you still have those brilliant middle order batters along the way. You
Exactly.
had
Yeah. Yeah.
Sarkar, you had Asaruddin, you had Yuvraj Singh, then Rohit
Hmm.
Sharma, and see Suresh Raina came in. So you have so many batters to say,
Uh-huh.
but the same is not going with the bowlers actually. If you pick
That's the thing.
one
Yeah.
bowler of a lifetime, see Bumrah he's a wonder. He's a
Correct.
legend
Yeah.
already, and
Uh-huh.
but I still feel that Bumrah can't go for another even 8 to 10 years. He can't even go that much because given his bowling
Hmm.
action, the
Workload on
stress
him and all
players
those
are going
things.
under. Yeah, the stress that the players are going under because they're playing way too many games. Given this IPL itself, they're playing
Hmm.
14 games within a span of 40-45 days. And again, they're going for the international tours, playing test matches because Bumrah is a three format player. And
Exactly. Yeah.
so you don't have an apt replacement for Bumrah. And still, we are not able to find the three pacers that could play in our playing 11 for World Cup still, which is
Exactly.
practically a month away. That's a cause actually. That's a concern. We do really have in our hands.
Exactly. And think of all rounders. We can't find an all rounder at this point in time other than
All
Hardik
rounders
Pandya.
zero, absolute zero.
Zero. Yeah.
If you
So
who do you have? Only the half-baked Hardik Pandya and Shivam Dubey who haven't even bowled any overs, and the tested and failed Arshal Patel you have. I don't see the pace bowling all-rounders in India now.
exactly, and that's what impact player is magnifying that problem, right?
Yes.
Because no teams want to go for all rounders. They're like, we don't need. We have impact player rule, right?
Yeah,
So
the impact player rule killed the option of having an
option
all-rounder
of
in my
having
opinion.
all rounders, yeah. And also tell me something. You mentioned the amount of workload these guys go through. Now, see, we say Siraj is not bowling well, but if we uh, try to dig deep, like what is going on, he has been playing since Asia Cup. He played World Cup. He played South Africa Test Series. He played England Test Series. Now he has come back to IPL. So maybe the body is not allowing him to bowl in those right areas which he wants. So don't you think that's a concern? And by it might be possible that Bumrah might face in the World Cup. So do you think that conscious effort needs to be made to preserve these bowlers? Right.
Also, with this case of Siraj, I really feel that Siraj is not a very good T20 bowler. He's an absolute treat to watch when he comes in bowl with those white clothes, even to an extent in
Ooh,
the ODI games.
in the ODI
He's a
games, yeah.
perfect bowler. He's a
Yeah.
perfect bowler for this long format games. I think he really doesn't have that. I don't say skill, but he don't have that caliber to bowl those short burst of spells like 1 over, 2 overs up front in the power play, then coming in bowling at the death. I think he's not that kind of a bowler, but he's a very good bowler when it comes to ODI or Test. Uh,
Right.
but also the workload is another reason. It could have been another reason. Also the players also like see KL Rahul is not injured anymore. Shreyas Iyer is fit again when the IPL is started, and Hardik
Right.
Pandya is playing all the IPL games. He was injured before, and he was not in.
But
See,
Hardik Pandya was it's not a fitness
players,
related issue. It was a freak injury during the World Cup. Ankle got twisted and it takes time to
yeah,
recover, right?
everything adds up when it comes to IPL. Everyone is fit and everyone is ready to play. Even if you take Virat Kohli, he was a great player. He deserves that rest. That is fine.
Yeah,
But suddenly his times off is fine. His time off is okay. I am ready to play now when the IPL is started. So also these franchises also won't let the players to take rest because they have invested
right.
so much of money. Even RCB is charging tickets for these. Do they have this jersey introduction, right?
Jersey
What
unboxing. Yeah,
Yeah, unboxing events. So these franchises are they have invested so much of money on these players. So if they are not having these players on board, and then it's a huge issue for them because that's what happening because. And also I think it's not up to the player also. The boards and these franchisee owners should sit down and talk to make a conscious decision because they're
right.
even planning to bring this Champions League back. I don't know how they are going to
How
fit
would
that.
you fit that in a busy schedule right now with the Indian calendar, right?
Yeah,
And
but that's how that is going to bring them money. Even if you see, New Zealand is completely okay to have their players playing in IPL franchises, and they're sending a second stream side to Pakistan now. They're playing a T20 series over there, and they
and
really know that.
same with
Yeah,
South Africa. They sent a
yeah,
debut playing 11 to play a test series in New Zealand. That too not in home, right?
yes, yeah.
So
Even see, if you see this New Zealand side, they surely know that those players are not going to play in the World Cup side.
mhm,
They're just testing waters. They're
right.
sending these 15 players. Okay, if anyone getting injured from their Margu set of players, they can anyway swap with them because they want to give some game time in the really testing conditions. Because Pakistan, I could see a similar set of not the perfect conditions that we could get in West Indies, but somehow it could be similar kind of conditions because in Pakistan also we don't see too many high scoring games.
Games, yeah.
So and for players who are playing in the New Zealand turf, I think it would be a very good experience factor when they are playing in Pakistan, so that they could accustom to the conditions that may get in West Indies.
True, true. I mean, that's understandable. Like BCCI needs to put a foot down and uh, and let the franchise owners know that these players' priority is country first, then the franchise comes, right? Like even last year when Rohit Sharma, this is what pissed me off when Rohit Sharma said before the World Test Championship. Honestly, I don't think workload management applies here. At the end of the day, we are in the hands of franchise. And the second, when that was done, then after that, like when the IPL was over, we are professionals at the end of the day. So no matter what happens, we will play the test match, something like that. And when they lost the match, they started blaming IPL, saying that like we needed some time, we needed some practice matches and all those things. Like, don't you think you should have said that in the first place? Like, see, Rohit Sharma is a great captain and everything. He has contributed a lot for the Indian cricket. But these statements, when these things come after they lose a World Cup or a World Test Championship, blaming IPL, that is what irritates me. Like, if you put that across first, like before everything happens, then okay, fine, something a board can take a decision and all those things. So that's where I'm like,
Also, he mentioned that this World Test Championship final could happen anywhere other than
huh,
India. That is also mentioning. But see, England is a home of cricket, so they eventually keep their place, and they don't want to lose that position.
I
And
mean, see, even for Australia, England is not a home condition, right?
I'm not saying home condition, but Australia have that liberty to hold their players. This is not happening.
Hmm.
See, all except Indian players, every other country players can play in any of the leagues, and they can come back to their national side. But for Indian players, there is no option of playing any foreign leagues except for Indian Premier League. So
Exactly.
if
Like,
you
see,
see from the players, yeah, if you see from the
Pat
players,
Cummins and Stark example. Like in 2023, they didn't even put their names for the IPL. Now
yes.
T20 World Cup is done. They are like, okay, now we need IPL exposure, so they have put their names. So the players are able to strike that balance and say uh, when we should go for the franchise crickets and all those things. But somehow in India, it's not allowing the players to make that conscious decision, right?
Also, economically, if you see, these players are getting more money. If you take Pat Cummins as an example, he's getting money from IPL. He's getting money from his national board, and he's playing. He has an option of playing other leagues as well. But this is not going same with the Indian players. See how many players are getting the central contracts from BCCI. They are just handful. Only the top players like Bumrah, Rohit Sharma, and Virat Kohli are in the A plus category. The others are not in that category. See, we have only A plus, A, B, and C. And
Hmm.
if the player is in C category, how much he is going to make in a year? So their
Right.
major source will be coming from IPL. If they have some option like okay, you can play in some other leagues, they will also have that exposure of playing in those countries. The conditions might be getting acclimated to them. If you take an like if you take the Tristan Stubbs, the South African player, now he is having the exposure of playing in Indian conditions. So whenever South Africa is going to tour in India, eventually he will be getting placed in this South African side because he already has the exposure. Look at Klasen. He was not
Yeah.
the same Klasen was playing when he was playing for RCB. Fans
Right.
usually compare that when a player was playing for RCB, he was not doing well. When he goes for other franchisee, he's doing well because the experience matters.
Experience
When
matters
he,
here.
when he came to RCB, he was a fresh apple. He was
Hmm.
straight away imported from South Africa, and he was not exposure of these conditions. And the player was not very experienced at that time. He was a raw
Yeah.
talent. Because he was doing really well in South African soil. So RCB
Hmm.
thought that okay, if we get him, he can make wonders for us. But he was that was not the case actually.
Right.
After playing so many seasons, now he is doing making those big runs and getting those huge sixes. So I think this is what happening. If BCCA makes some conscious decision that our players also can play in foreign leagues, so that they can also get that exposure and the experience that is really required. See, for an example, Tilak Verma was playing really well last season. This season is just on and off with this form. See, if we got an experience like playing in Big Bash League, like with Pat Cummins or Travis Head or some other talents from Australian soil, he could have been got that match practice all through the year. He
Right.
was not playing in the Indian side regularly. He was playing only in IPLs. So it's basically like he's playing from IPL to IPL. Even in the domestic tournaments, he's participating, but not to that level.
Right.
There will be a gap, right? Playing in Indian conditions and playing in South African conditions, Australian conditions. So it could be a
Right.
major point that BCCA can make some liberties for the Indian players as well.
But again, like what happens is when you start doing that, uh, someone else would be like, okay, fine, you're giving NOC to him, but you're not giving NOC to me. That's where the conflict start, right? So these problems are there, right? So again, I understand that.
I
Uh,
am not asking for Tilak Verma alone. I'm just
yeah,
saying
yeah,
for every Indian player, they should have that option. I think
option, yeah, yeah.
the player is the one who would decide this because see,
Right,
in football, really, the clubs will have the most authority.
right,
If you take an example of Messi, Messi is always plays for FC Barcelona, which is in Spain,
yeah,
but Messi is from Argentina. So
right,
if he wants to play for Argentina in the World Cups, Argentina football board has to give some money to the FC Barcelona because they are just borrowing their player. Even
right,
though Messi is from Argentina, Argentina Football Federation should give the money to Barcelona and then they can take their player. So I think cricket is
right,
also heading to the same direction now. Every
mm-hmm.
player is going to play for the franchises more now. So I
Right,
think so the onus will be on the player to decide whether he has to play for this franchisee or not. So I think that way this thing will get somewhat reduced because the game time, the
mm-hmm.
workload management, everything will comes to place when the player has the onus rather than the cricket board or any franchisee or any third party for that
Fair
matter.
enough. Fair enough. But at this point, somehow the player is not able to take that decision by himself because he's worried. He see if Pat Cummins and Stark are taking a decision. You know what? I'm not gonna play the IPL. If they say that openly, here's the thing. For me, the country preferences are important at this point. I don't want to prioritize IPL at this point. No one no one says anything to them. Even the franchise owners, no one will say anything to them. But
Yeah.
suddenly, if their priorities change, like even the franchise owners understand. But when it comes to the Indian franchise owners, that's not how it is. Like priorities do change. They are not consider taking that into the equation, right?
Because Cummins is not going to sell more tickets because Virat Kohli does.
Virat Kohli
That's
does
what,
exactly. Yeah.
because that's what happening. The US government itself
Mhm.
advertising not as a T20 World Cup. It is a tournament that Virat Kohli is going to play, because Virat
Exactly. Yeah.
Kohli's case is going to bring more revenue than the entire World Cup fraternity.
Mhm. Right.
So this is the problem now. I don't see it's a problem, but this is the case that we are in now. Due to
Right.
this globalization of sports, it's like, who is going to bring me more money? That's the only question that everyone has. Because
Fair enough. Like yeah.
why a country like US is really wanted to stage a World Cup in their country, because US is
Right.
not a very cricket loving country, because they don't even play cricket that much, but they are
Mhm.
really into in every sports. Really, they do want to stage everything, because
Mhm.
that's how they are directed now. They really wanted to
Right.
make a strong statement in this cricketing fraternity as well. So yeah, that's how it is. It's really not a matter of V2 or the other people who are doing it. It's really about how the cricketing boards and the franchises around the world are going to take decisions on this. And given this
Right.
Champions League talks, I think really it's going to be a huge danger. And also these 260 scores, 200 plus scores are really scaring me, because okay, in 20 overs they are getting these many runs. So why can't we have some T10 tournaments with these players? Like, already these T10
Yeah.
tournaments
Yeah.
they're already started, but what happens if it comes to India again? Again
Right.
they will
Yeah.
say 11 players are not required, we can go with 7 players, we can play T10s. And yeah, it's really
Right.
scary for the
Yeah.
sports.
But tell me something like, see, yes, pitch conditions are flat, the ground sizes are small, bad dimensions are different. Let's put all those things aside. Like, if it's not SRH, if it was like, let's not consider SRH. Let's say West Indies are scoring like 250 runs, right? Do you think India, with the same conditions, would score those many runs? I don't think so, because the thing is the approach, like the approach which they have grew up on, they don't go all out attack from ball one, right?
Yes.
They don't have innovative shots. They won't go all out attack from ball one. They kind of settle in, then they kind of accelerate. So that's where I think India is lagging behind when it comes to this T20 approach. Do you think that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's what Rohit tried in the last World Cup. In 23
Hmm.
World Cup, Rohit was actually doing this. He
Right,
wanted to go on all out attack right from the ball one, and he did that. He succeeded in that,
right, right, yeah,
but can't be transferred to the other players. That's what happened in the final. Like in the first
right,
10
yeah,
overs, we are getting 85 runs, and a player who got 55 in the first 10 overs, and he got out. And after 30 overs, we didn't get any boundaries. That is the
right.
case happened in finals, because we get into the conservative approach, and that doesn't brought up any success for us in the past 10
True,
years.
true.
We won the
I mean,
last five
see,
a decade back, and nothing is
hmm,
happening for us.
I mean, see, that's the thing. Like, of course, you can't ask a player who has been playing with that approach for the past, since he was a child. You can't ask a player and expect that he will change that approach overnight. Even for Rohit Sharma, it have taken like a endless amount of practice so that he's able to do that consistently, right?
We are not even talking like batting like Rohit Sharma, but somehow they could have pushed something more. Rather than
Hmm.
getting into a shell of not playing any boundary deliveries, they got into a shell actually in the finals. KL
Yeah,
Rahul and Virat Kohli, they did got some runs, but that doesn't help the team in any way. Even if you
right.
take Surya Kumar Yadav, who plays really explosive in the T20s, he really played some. I would say it's very horrible to see him that night
Yeah,
against Australia and Ahmedabad. It was really horrible to see him, and he's giving strike to Kuldeep Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah, Siraj. Let them
right.
playing those boundary deliveries. He's just playing singles. that doesn't really add up, because the way the players reacted to those pressure moments, I think India is really lagging back. Not with the approach, they're just not reacting very well to the situations that they are getting into.
Right. So that's where, uh, in that 30 overs, there was only one boundary, right, in the World Cup finals. So in those
Yeah,
situations, you don't expect the out of the box thinking from the Indian players. Like if it was like, let's say Butler was stuck in that situation. Like even in the 22 finals,
finals. Yeah,
Naseem Shah
Pakistan.
was Naseem Shah was bowling on a some other league on that day.
Yes,
Like
I think
and
every Pakistani bowlers was really bowling well, but
yeah,
they do get that one or two deliveries in an over, and they're just striking for boundaries. And even the wicket was losing, they were still going with that approach.
yeah.
That's the difference between England and Pakistan that day.
And see, on that day, that's what Butler did, right? Like Naseem Shah was bowling well, so he understood that I can't play in the front of the wicket, so he played a scoop shot to Naseem Shah. So there's a out of the box thinking approach. So
Yes.
if there was Virat Kohli, you can't expect that, right? Virat Kohli or KL Rahul for that matter, you can't expect that, right? And it's fine. Like it is an approach which worked for Virat Kohli. You can't expect him to change it overnight, right?
Yeah, that's what we are saying. It's okay with Virat Kohli because he has been doing it really well for us, and he's getting
Hmm.
runs for him and for the country as
Right.
well. But it's really important that Jitesh Sharma or this Ashutosh Sharma, someone who's going to get a chance in the near future, he has to react in certain way. That's what
Right,
I
right.
think this IPL is doing for every youngsters. And given the innings from Ashutosh Sharma, Jitesh Sharma, Shashank Singh is playing for Punjab Kings, and Abhishek Porel for DC, and Tilak Verma is on and off with this form. But last season, Nehal Vadera was doing it for Mumbai Indians. So even Samir Rizvi was doing in the domestic circuit
Mm-hmm.
in the for Uttar Pradesh, I think. So I
And
think
Riyan
these guys
Parag.
have to do something. Iran Parag, how can we forget them? Because these guys have to change their approach and react to situations. I think it doesn't mean that they have to play uh, from North Pole to South Pole. Just need to
Yeah,
be proactive in their decisions. Doesn't going into shell haven't helped us. That is what I'm saying.
right. Yeah.
Getting into shell
Mm-hmm.
is also fine, but it has not helped us. So if it is
True.
not helping us, then changing the approach is the only way, or at least be proactive to the situations. That is what we are expecting. One
Right,
trophy, because it's been a long time that we won a trophy.
right. Mm-hmm.
I we won't even complain if you are if you are eliminating in the first rounds, or even in the round of 16, or even quarterfinals. We are getting into semifinals, final fours, and final twos, but we are not getting the trophy. That is hurting us really much. Uh,
I mean, see, that's the thing, right? Like even Pat Cummins, the way he is captaining Sunrisers, he has figured out strengths and weaknesses, and he has
yeah,
assigned a certain role, and he is just getting the maximum out of the players. Like you wouldn't have never expected Jaydev Unadkat to perform well in for SRH, but somehow Pat Cummins has got the best out of him.
yeah,
So those things do matter, like in especially in T20 format. And Travis Head again, like in 2018, I think till the Tim Paine's captaincy, he was nowhere. Then suddenly Pat Cummins comes and he understands what's the strength of Travis Head and he makes him into a beast, right?
yes. Yeah, I think
So
this is what happened with Owen Morgan also. After
right,
their horrible 2015 World Cup performance, he transformed that England side into something else.
yeah.
They are playing like we are the owners of the game again. And
Hmm.
see, those 11 players from, if you pick any 11 players from England side and put them into a ground and make them play, they are playing like they are the boss. So I
Right.
think certain captains have that technique or knowledge or skill, whatever it is. Since it is working, I think they are the owners and they are the boss, and
True, true.
they are the best actually. If it is not working and if it is not bringing any titles, then whoever you are, you are just a failure. Like what happened to Virat
Mm,
and Rohit Sharma,
yeah.
in the recent past with the Indian side, I think they are the masters of the game. But still, if you are not having any trophies, then you are not going to be remembered. That's how it is.
Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, like I mean that's the thing. Like somehow we are choking in the end moments, For us, it felt like 2023 World Cup was going flawlessly,
Yes.
right? And suddenly, somehow, management wanted to make a sluggish wicket, right? So that Travis said and all these guys are neutralized, but it backfired on us, right?
It's not a sluggish wicket actually. It's a mess up venue actually. I think who would wanted Ahmedabad to be a finals venue? You already won a final in Wankhede, and it's been your lucky hunting ground. Why would you
Uh,
want it to? And also, given the form or given the nature of our players, it is not going to help.
right, yeah,
Ahmedabad, we already know the pitch will be very sluggish at the first half. When the dew comes in, it will be better for the second batting. You can't
right.
really hope that okay, we will win the toss and we will be fielding first. You
Yeah.
can't predict that. Your best match will be playing Wankhede. What
Right,
happened in
yeah.
semi-finals against New Zealand?
Yeah.
In Wankhede, we played first. We just made it like we really made felt New Zealand what we felt in the past semi-finals.
Yeah.
They were feeling that wrath actually in that match. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a no-brainer that we could have played in our fortress rather than playing in
Right,
some
yeah.
fancy grounds. That okay, huge
True.
people turning out and we will have a very good revenue. That is not going to help you. We are in need of
True.
trophies, and you got an opportunity to stage a tournament, and you really messed it up by picking up a very bad venue for the finals, especially.
And and that's the thing, that sluggish wicket. Like, see, even our batters can't play on those sluggish wickets. Like Shubman Gill,
Yes.
he needs the ball to come on the bat, right? Because the way he plays on the upshots. So on those wickets, you can't play that, and that kind of led to the downfall of every player,
Now,
right?
nowadays, our batters are not playing spin really well. That is the case
Mhm.
actually now. We are
Yeah,
playing like the Aussie batters now. We need those 140 plus balls, the pace
right.
and bounce. That is what we are really liking it now. If you
Um,
even take Ishan Kishan or
mhm.
Surya Kumar Yadav, whoever it is, they really want that feel that the ball should come and hit the bat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what they
So
really
that's
want.
the thing. Like in one of the interview, like during India England series, Ashwin was saying that, because uh, like there was a desperation that we need to do well when we are touring Australia, South Africa, or England. So we got better at playing fast bowlers, bouncers, or
Yes.
swinging deliveries and all those things. So, and that's where we have lost the skill of playing spin well. And same goes with Australian players, South African players. They are desperate to do well in India, so that's where they are trying to apply more against spinners. But somehow their fast bowling skill has also come down. Like uh, Australians, they struggle against like ultra fast bowling. Like they struggle against Mayank Yadav in 2015 World Cup. They struggled against Wahab Riaz when he was like literally going full throttle.
Also, they can't play those swinging balls. Also, that's why they struggle a lot in England.
Right. So that tends to happen when you tend to focus more on certain things. You lose the skill which you have. So
Yes.
that could be one reason, and reason Ashwin pointed out, and maybe that's true. Like, yeah.
Also, I think it's high time that India should have some three format teams because given the amount of talent that we have now, it's I think high time that we should have some three format teams. Like Test cricket should be played by certain team. Because of that only, I think many players are not getting opportunities. Like Sarfraz Khan is long due getting a chance in Test team, and Surya
Right.
Kumar Yadav was not getting a call up in the T20 side. Like
Right.
I could see so many players we could point out really the players who
Hmm.
are doing really well in the domestic circuit who are not getting the chances in their IPL so that they can't showcase the talent to the entire world and they are not getting the opportunities. Like I do know some Tamil Nadu players who are getting some really good performances year in and year out, but they didn't get any chances in the IPL franchises so that they can't able to get into the national side. So I think
Right.
it should be very transparent and something that BCCA should do because the entire talent is going really waste because the way we are not getting the fast bowlers itself is it's a true thing now.
I mean, see, like at this point, World Cup is like somewhere around uh, month and a week. Like
Yeah.
I think in a month warm up matches would start, right?
Yes. May
So
29 is the date.
May 29 is a date, so basically exactly like a month and a week, so something like that, right? And we haven't figured out who are the fast bowlers other than Jasprit Bumrah.
The
We have,
batters, other than Rohit and Kohli, we don't have anyone in hand. The
I mean
wicketkeeper slot is
batters.
still open.
I mean batters. At least we have said we could say that okay, fine. This could be a most probable scenario. Like if you ask who is the wicket keeper, I would say most probably it would be Pant, because if you have to play at number four, right, it would be Pant, right? Or yeah, mostly it would be Pant the way he's playing right now, right? So there are few things sorted for me. The major concern is those all-rounders and the bowlers. Batters, it's more or less. I'm not worried about the batters honestly, right?
Somehow we can manage with the batters.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, truly, given Ravindra Jadeja and Akshar Patel Corandram, I think this time we should try with Akshar Patel instead of going with Jadeja, because Akshar is very unlucky when it comes to World Cups, because somehow
right.
he is not getting those call ups. Even take that 23 World Cup, he was playing really well for those 2.5 years for Indian side, and at the time of picking up the squad, he is getting an
He,
injury, and that opens up the door for Ashwin,
yeah, yeah,
the
exactly.
uncertain Ashwin coming into the picture. And
Right,
even
right.
we had Ashwin, but we didn't even pick him up after that Chennai game. It's really
Right.
like we wanted to play only in Chennai, so come and play for us in the World Cup and be a bench warmer for us. So
True, yeah.
it's really a concern actually. So who could be our all rounders? Who could be our spin bowlers? Because Chahal is really bowling well in the IPLs, and he is not getting those World Cup call ups. And it's really harsh when if India won the World Cup, it could have been even a talk that Chahal is not there, so that you are not winning the cups. If
Right.
India won the World Cup, there would be no talks. Rohit Sharma could be an immortal now, because he has been
True.
captain for two T20 World Cups, 150 over World Cup, and World Test Championship. If he had won everything, then he could be the immortal. That whatever applause is Dhoni getting today, it could be for Rohit Sharma. So
True,
yeah,
true.
it's been very harsh for Indian team in the recent past. But let's hope that's what we have now. In a month away.
True, true, yeah. And somehow, this is the only thing is, see, at the end of the day, people will figure out with the right combination. That's not the problem. The problem for me is when I saw Siraj, I had some expectations. See, he's not a muck with a ball in the T20. At least in power plays, he does well, right?
Yes.
So it felt that somehow the workload is getting a better of him. And I'm like, see, the worst workload is Bumrah. Like even worse than Siraj, Bumrah is bowling. After he came back from that injury, like a 1 year layoff, he played Asia Cup, he
He
played World
played
Cup,
every game. He played every game.
he played every game. He took a paternity leave against a Nepal match and he got trolled. Okay. So that's the thing. Like he played every game, right? So that's what I'm worried about Bumrah. Like if he's playing IPL also, like
But given the scenario, if Bumrah is not playing, MI will not win any games, even if they score 250, 270. That is the case with Mumbai Indians now.
true,
And
true, yeah.
I don't see if you ask me if do you really want MI to win a trophy or India to win a trophy, I would gladly say that India should win the trophy.
India should win the
Even if
trophy.
I'm a
Yeah.
hardcore MI fan, I really wish you can even dress Rohit Sharma for a game for some games, Bumrah for
Mhm.
some games, Surya Kumar Yadav for that matter, because he's also coming off from the injury. I think it's high time that these players should be really fresh and
Right.
should get some proper rest before the World Cup. If Mumbai Indians are not going to qualify for the playoffs, if after the end of 10 games, if we won really only four, we already lost six. I think it's okay to rest these players, like even Hardik
Right.
Pandya,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
rest
yeah.
players some matches and get them ready for the World Cup. I think that could be the vision that BCCI should have.
True,
Yeah,
true. See,
let's really
like,
hope.
see, the thing is, if franchise doesn't win a IPL, people move on. Okay. But if the country doesn't win a World Cup or a trophy that haunts people, like till this point, everyone talks about that 19th November, right? So that's the reality. So somehow, like, that's where they need to just put a foot down and, you know what, like, this is the priority right now, and
Yeah.
you need
See,
to you
see,
need
if you
to
take
execute that.
RCB,
Hmm.
they're already literally they are somewhat out of the tournament now because they already lost six
Yeah,
games.
yeah, yeah.
It's okay to have Virat Kohli to rest for few games actually, at least towards
True.
the end. After
Hmm.
12 games, give him that those last two games rest and try out some other players at least to know
Yeah, yeah.
whom you can retain in the mega auction comes up. So,
True.
but
Yeah.
the problem is again the franchises like CSK, they don't have any certain players for the Indian side, and I think they can play all the games. But if Shubham Dubey or Ravindra Jadeja are being in the scheme of things, then they should be also informed that okay, we have these players in the radar, so just give them some rest. See if CSK are already qualified, like after 12 games, they
Right.
have
Yeah.
already won 8 or 7 games. They already qualified. So let those players get some rest before
Right.
getting into
Yeah.
the and, yeah, that's how should be. And the play should be
And
in the NCA more,
yeah.
and being with the players that they are going to play in the World Cup. I think that friendship would be a lot required right now.
Exactly, exactly. See, the thing is, in one of the podcast, there's a there's a renowned sports journalist, KSR, right? He made a point, like, you know, IPL has been since 2008, right? He kind of related the situation, given an analogy with a 17-year-old kid. Okay, IPL was also 17 years old, and he gave an analogy with 17-year-old kid. So 17-year-old kid doesn't have much experience, so they tend to make mistakes. So there are other people who are more experienced than that person. They they tell him, you know what, this is not the right thing to do. So he said that more than the franchise owners, it's the BCCI who needs to put the foot down, saying that, you know what, you're not doing the right thing. So you need to take a step down. And later, like he said, that 10 years down the line, I think even IPL will start thinking along those lines. If BCCI starts, putting the foot down, saying that we need to manage the workloads, right?
Yeah, I think that should happen really soon.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
we do have these talks like IPL really destroyed Indian cricket only after these big tournaments. I think those talks should be for the year long. Whenever you are
Exactly.
planning
Yeah.
for FTPs you are planning, you should plan the IPL as well. The
Right.
IPL
Yeah.
schedule should be accommodated in such a way, or else you keep IPL when these FTPs are also happening. That way, I think some players could get some rest, or some other new players will be getting the
And
chances.
also, like, the only thing that happened with 2011 World Cup was, after the World Cup was done, IPL started.
Yes,
Rest all
that
World
was
Cups,
a
rest
really
all events.
blessing thing. If it is not like IPL started first and then the World Cup, I think the results could have been even worse.
Yeah,
Even
like,
MS couldn't be able to win the cup. The what do
true,
you say?
true,
The
yeah.
send off to Sachin would not be much happier than that. It could have been worse.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. Like, the entire FTP cycle, you need to plan it in a right way, accommodating IPL as well, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. You brought up a really good point. Like whenever these huge tournaments like World Cups are coming, please make sure that World Cup is happening first and then these tournaments, these domestic
mhm.
tournaments. If you see in England and Australia, the summers are very late actually. If you compare
Right.
in India, the summers will be from Feb to June or July, whereas in Australia it will be the summer
November,
is starting
December,
in November only.
November,
November only.
December, something like that. Yeah,
In England also it is only from July. So
yeah,
their players are really fresh
yeah.
for the summer tournaments. But for
Right.
us,
Yeah,
it's really very what do you say? They are very tired actually,
right.
mentally,
Yeah.
physically. They are very tired after playing this tournament. So please keep this ICC tournaments before the IPL, so that we
Mhm.
can have those very good tournaments. At least
Right.
we can
Yeah.
see that the players are very fresh. Because if you see the Test series in Australia, if you are touring Australia, the entire tournament will be getting over in Jan itself. So if
Yeah.
an World Cup is coming at February or March, So the players might have those rest actually, at least for a
Right.
month. So they can be very fresh and they can play in the ICC tournaments and then they can come back to the IPL. I
I mean,
think
see
that way.
the way series were planned during those days, 2003, 4, that Test series, India Australia. India were already there in Australia because they played a World Cup,
Hmm.
2003 World Cup before that. So some things need to be planned certain ways. So
Yes.
that's what it is, right?
Also, everybody knows that. See, the 27 World Cup will be played in South Africa now, so they
Ah,
already know it upfront. So it's
right,
better to have some tours planned in that year right before the South African summer is getting to kicked in. So I think
right.
that way the teams will be having that preparation phase really well. I'm not saying for India alone because India is going to be the major hub because of this IPL. Every country is watching India now. So I think
Yeah,
BCCI should be very aware and they should be proactive
right,
in planning all the FTPs year after.
right, yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. Like, and also the way, of course, the scores which are being scored in the this year IPL, of course it takes the interest away, but at the same time it makes you feel that uh, we are still playing that 170, 180 game, right, rather than thinking about why not try 220, 230.
I really want this 140, 150 games now really badly. I am
Really
not even
badly,
seeing
yeah.
any score in this 140, 150, and the bowlers are getting some help from the pitches. And you see, it's really exciting when the fielders are surrounding the batters.
Right.
That picture will not give you
I mean,
what do you say, feeling.
you remember that game RR versus MI where Trent Bolt and Andre Berger had that amazing power play, right?
Yes.
So that match showed that if you don't have a skill to play a test match cricket, you can't survive that spell, right?
Yeah, even that game, when MI also bowling, RR was also struggling there,
Right,
except
yeah,
Riyan Parag. If Riyan Parag was got out very early, I think it was a match would have been easily won by MI because
yeah.
the way MI bowlers bowled really well in that game.
Hmm.
Except Riyan Parag, no one was able to play that much freely and very confidently in that game. Riyan
Right.
Parag was the only difference between MI and victory that game. So I think that game after a long time, I really enjoyed it very much because
True.
power play was completely won by RR, and then it was a very good batting performance from MI to get
Right.
some total, to get
Hmm.
into some respectable total, and the way MI defended it really well.
Right, yeah.
They really made a match out of it, at least to make it over 16, 17 overs. They really bowled well. And after that, Riyan
Right.
Parag finished it off. So I think, except that match, I don't get any a proper cricketing experience from any of the games. These 270 games are happening till the last over. That's okay. Those last over finishes are not exciting that much because the batters having the say more than the bowlers.
Right, yeah.
That is not really helping actually.
I mean,
If you
see, today Kuldeep Yadav, like, how many times would you imagine that, okay, a bowler has gone for 55 runs in 4 overs, and still ended up taking 4 wickets, which is one of the best performances out of the bowling lot,
yes.
right? So that's not that doesn't help, right? Someone going like 13, 14 runs in an over and still being the best doesn't help at all, right?
Yeah, if you really go back and ask me what is a IPL final that you enjoyed much, I would say the 2017 final.
Right. Uh, where
It's
MI won
2017.
by 1 run.
MI versus Pune Warriors. It was
Yeah.
a very treat to watch because MI struggled
Right.
in that pitch. In Hyderabad, it was happened.
Right. Right.
MI
Yeah.
struggled. They really struggled and crawled to get into 129.
Yeah. Krunal Pandya kind of ensured
Yeah.
that there's a respectable total, and somehow
Yes.
MI defended
Somehow.
that. Like Mitchell
Yeah, the way
Johnson bowling that
that game
final over.
ended really well. That
Yeah.
game gives you many cherishing moments. If you see,
Right.
if I ask you what is a one defining moment that happened in the 277 match between MI and SRH, what would you say? You could bluntly say that Ed's innings was brilliant.
Yeah. Ed
Other
sent.
than that,
Yeah.
you
Nothing
can't get
else.
anything out of it. But
Right.
if you ask me what happened in 2017 final, I can give you a lot of moments. I
Right.
can
Yeah.
give you like Washington Sundar's brilliance in the power play. He really
And,
dismantled the MI
mm,
batting,
right.
and the way Krunal Pandya batted out. Pollard was trying to make a mark, but he was not able to. Even Unadkat was making a huge difference in that game. And after
Yeah.
that, Stevenson's innings, Rahane's prowess, like
Right.
I could say some 5 to 6 moments in that game, but in those high scoring games I don't find any excitement rather than seeing, and it's like watching a blockbuster commercial cinema rather than watching an art
Right. Yeah.
cinema that would last forever in your
I
memory.
mean, this is not true for just IPL. Any game, like if you ask
Yeah,
me, like which Test series you remember, you say India Australia series in 2020, right? The way
yeah.
both the teams fought, like even the batters, even the bowlers, even the opposition batters and bowlers, everyone fought well, right? And those things you remember, right? And that's the thing, like one-sided contests and dead rubbers, no one would like that. Right?
Yeah, I would say really the Sydney game was the best game I have
Best game,
watched,
yeah.
because the way Pujara was standing like a wall, uh, Vihari's injury,
Ashwin's
Ashwin's,
injury, yeah.
Ashwin's injury, with those injuries they batted out really well. The entire day they batted out. That
Right,
is
yeah.
not going to happen each and every tour or each and every game in Australia. That
Right,
too.
yeah,
That too.
yeah.
Even more than the Gabas win, I would really cherish watching the Sydney game much, because the
Against
way
the bowling lineup of Stark, Hazelwood, and Cummins.
they
Yeah,
are not even pitching in the pitch actually. They are giving all the blows to the batters.
yeah,
It's like they figured out Pujara as the pitch map, and they're just literally pinching him with each and every deliveries.
yeah, yeah.
Even Bihari with his injury struggle, he was not able to run. If
Uh-huh.
he was able to run, we could have easily won that game. That's what
Right,
Ashwin and Vihari told post match in the post match
right,
conference.
yeah.
So I think these games will be exciting
True, yeah.
then Brendan McCullum, we can enjoy only at that moment. We can't even
Right,
remember what he did in that game. So I think
yeah.
Vihari is much more important than Brendan McCullum's.
True, like, see, Brendan McCullum scored 158, but no one remembers the game, what happened in
Yeah,
detail,
literally.
right? Yeah,
Even
right.
nobody remember who opened the attack for RCB, because everyone's focus was on Brendan McCullum.
Brendan
That's
McCullum,
how.
right, yeah. Hmm. But,
Yeah,
anyways, yeah.
it's all. we
So,
started
today,
at some point, but we ended it somewhere.
some other time. So, what
It's
do you
like a cricket
think?
season.
Uh, do you think like DC could have done something different? Like I felt DC could have batted first, right?
See, it's really helpless situation. What would have done? Because in the pitch
Right.
report they told that they're expecting dew. The pitch will
Uh,
eventually get better in the second half. So everyone would have thought that okay. Also in T20s, I could really see there is some advantage batting second. If you know the target, you can really plan your innings well. Unless if it is a knockout game, playing second
right.
is not going to is not a bad decision to take.
Bad decision. Okay.
So you can't really blame the bowlers. Even the batting was really spotless. Actually, they were not even playing any rubbish shots, or there was not any top edges going six.
True.
There was
True.
no
True. Yeah.
mismatch shots. It was really
Yeah.
proper fielding shots. Look at Abhishek Sharma's gameplay. He just coming down the track and he's just logging. It's a
Yeah.
really treat to watch. So you can't really
Right.
fault anybody in that game.
Hmm.
Even Fraser played really well without any foot movement. He was really playing like a right-handed Shivam Dubey to me.
I
So
mean, he was playing baseball basically.
yeah, baseball actually. Even the commentators were saying that he was like a baseball batter and he's just swinging the arms. That's all. No feet
Swinging
movement,
the
nothing.
arms for home. He's just trying to beat for a home run.
Yeah, home run. That's what he's
Yeah.
trying to do all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, if he could have stayed for further some time, like 5 to 6 overs, I think the
Right. Yeah.
at least the margin could have been reduced. Rather than
True.
67
True.
runs, it
Yeah.
could have brought down to some 30, 35 runs. I think that's what DC
Yeah.
missing today. I don't see that there was no any captaincy errors or any. Even the bowlers are not at fault. You can't
Right.
really
Yeah.
do much
I
when
mean,
the
see,
batting.
like seeing the pitch map, like wherever you bowl, the strike rates are like over
300,
250.
350. It's really
Yeah,
not any justice to anybody.
Yeah, like you can't bowl anywhere. Like if someone comes and says to him, "Ki you should have bowl more in that length area, 6 to 8," like Ashish Nehra says, right? Length ball. He would be like, "हाँ वहाँ 350 का strike rate पड़ा है मेरे को."
क्या भी नहीं हो.
So that's the thing. Like you can't say that. Okay, fine. You should have landed in this area. Like they will say, okay, that area gave like 350 strike rate. So you
Maybe they
can't.
could have done one thing, like Shardul Thakur said in one video, like, how will you bowl those knuckle deliveries? He said that I just bowl and pray to the god. That's what the bowlers can. That's what the bowlers can do today, because it's not going to help you. Because
Yeah,
even
yeah,
if you see, Kuldeep Yadav really tried to bowl those wide deliveries,
right, yeah,
and the umpires are just giving it as wide. So what can the bowler can do? Because
yeah.
everything
Like
is against the
see, true.
bowlers, and
Hmm.
the pitch is against the bowlers. The rules and regulations are against the bowlers. So the batters are getting the huge bats. See,
Yeah,
the top pitches are flying and going into the six boundaries, and everything is happening against the bowlers. So I think
right,
they are the most oppressed community right now in the entire
right,
cricketing
yeah.
world. So there should be some
And
savior.
true, yeah. Even in today's commentary, I think Peterson asked Ian Bishop, "Okay, fine. What would you do in this situation?" He was like, "I need some time to think."
Those time you won't get in T20s again. Time is
Yeah,
also not in your
time is
not in
not
your
not
T20.
there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there is literally nothing to do.
Hmm.
You just go and pray to God. That's all.
Exactly.
That is
Yeah.
the only thing you can do.
Right. Yeah. That
Yeah.
Travis said kind of misses the ball and the ball hits the stumps. Right. You need to hope things like that.
Or else you can make some do some black magic and tell to the ball that please go, don't get hit by Travis Head's bat rather than go and hit the stumps. At least be a beaten ball.
Right. Yeah.
Do something and don't get hit by Travis Head. I think it's completely off game for the bowlers completely
Yeah.
from both
Yeah.
the sides.
Yeah. And the way like even in MI Punjab game where batters are moving towards the like they are shifting towards the offside and still the ball is given wide, right? So you can't do anything about that.
Also, in some games, these umpires' decisions are really joke. They are making some very blunderous decisions. Like
That to
the
third
batsman is
umpires
moving
there.
across, the batsman is moving across, and where could the bowler? Is there any rule that a bowler can change arms while bowling? No rule is like that. Even if they
See, that's the
do try,
thing.
if
Like
they do try that, they will be banning him. So
banning him,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
I don't see anything for the bowlers now.
See, that's the thing. Like, if a on-field umpire makes those errors, you understand that okay, in real time things happen quickly, so that's understandable. But a third umpire, he's seeing that in a slow motion and still making questionable decisions. It's like the respect for the on-field umpire has gone up like multiple folds.
Okay, it's fine for you, fine with you. Let's blame the TV. That's how it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's completely what you can say. It's really going in the batter's way rather
yeah,
than going with the
true.
bowler's way. They also, first of all, don't make these kind of pictures. Actually, it's very boring to see.
Right, yeah.
Make some, at least have some two pitches. Even in the same ground, also have some two pitches and give
Yeah,
something to the bowlers also.
true. And also, actually, today's second innings, I was not at all interested to see the game, but I was following it because I put some money in Dream 11, right?
Okay.
I just
But I
wanted to
really wanted to watch this guy Fraser because he
Fraser
is impressive.
McGurk, yeah,
Yeah, he was impressive in the last two
yeah,
games that he played for DC,
true,
and
true,
even
yeah.
I am really into this guy's Stubbs. He really
Tristan
played a
Stubbs,
blunder
yeah,
against him.
yeah, yeah.
So I really wanted to watch for these two guys. So I followed the game, and it was okay because they were not even trying to slow down. They really wanted to chase it down, but somehow
I
it is
mean,
not going
see,
to happen.
that's the thing, right? Like when targets like this, you don't get to see the potential of Rishabh Pant as a batter, Stubbs as a batter, or for that matter, Purell as a batter. You can't judge the player saying that you know what you didn't bat well, so we need to drop you. And you can't judge the bowler saying that you didn't bowl in the right area, so we are dropping you. You can't even do that. So that's not helping anyone.
It's a one-off game.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
try to forget it. That's all. That's
exactly.
what we
Yeah,
want.
so true. Anyways, anything else?
Yeah, nothing. We'll see tomorrow. We have two
Yeah,
games.
two
Actually,
games.
again,
Yeah,
RCB is playing tomorrow. We'll see how it
yeah.
goes.
Let's see how it goes. That too in Eden Gardens. Let's see.
Yes. Naren is striking really well. Got a
Yeah,
century.
yeah.
In my dreams, I haven't even seen that Naren could score a century.
Score a
Even in my
century. Yeah.
wildest of dreams, I haven't even predict that Naren will score a century.
Only
Even
Gambhir
Naren
can pull off things like that.
even Naren could have even dreamt that, but he scored a century now. And, so yeah,
Yeah.
he can even say that even MS didn't have any T20 century, but I do have.
Uh,
So it's going to be his what do you say, Hall of Fame memory for him.
Hall of
Let's
Fame.
see
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happens tomorrow. Tomorrow, yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. So see you guys tomorrow. And
Yeah.
please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. It really helps our channel to grow. Thank you guys. See you tomorrow.